Hi, I'm Mike from Pro Auto Repair, a mobile auto repair service out of Kent, Washington. Today I'm going to be showing you how to recharge an AC system on a 2003 Dodge Durango. First, what you'll need is an air conditioning manifold gauge set. Second thing you'll need is a 2.5 CFM or better vacuum pump. First, what we're going to do is we're going to locate our low pressure and high pressure ports for the air conditioning system. The high pressure port is a small diameter hose with a big diameter port. The low pressure side is a bigger diameter hose with a smaller diameter port. So this is low pressure, this is high pressure. Usually they will have these plastic caps on them. These are actually kind of important to prevent leaks in the Schrader valves. Unfortunately, this one is missing one. First thing what you'll need to do is go to your manifold gauge set. It should come with these little quick couplers. Make sure on the top of the coupler it'll tell you which way is open and closed. Bring it all the way to the closed position. They're spring-loaded couplers, so pull the spring back and place it on your low pressure side. The blue one is low pressure and the red one is high pressure. So our low pressure side is now in place. We're going to grab our high pressure side, verify that the valve is indeed closed, pull the spring back, couple it onto our high pressure hose. Next you'll need to take your manifold gauge set and put it in a place that's easily visible. I usually hang them on the hood of the car. It has good visibility and the hoses need to be going up. Now we take our low pressure hose and seat it firmly with the low pressure coupler. Do not over tighten the screw because you can strip out your threads and also damage the O-ring that seals the low pressure coupler to the hose. Then take your blue hose and connect it to your low pressure side of your manifold gauge set. Again, that's the blue side. Some manifold gauges will have a green one to indicate the low pressure side. High pressure is always red. Next we're going to repeat the same step with the high pressure side. Firmly twist the high pressure hose to the coupler, but don't over tighten. Then connect the high pressure hose to the high pressure side of your manifold gauge. On the manifold gauge you also want to make sure your valves are both closed. This will prevent any leakage. Now we're doing this from a system that has already been discharged with the Freon. It's never recommended to discharge the Freon into the atmosphere, and it can actually be illegal in certain states. So if your system has Freon in it, you need to go to a certified technician shop and have it recovered. More often than not, they'll recover it for free. So the yellow hose is your feed hose. This one screws into the center port. You'll notice you have 3 ports on the manifold gauge set itself. These don't do anything. They're simply placeholders for the hoses. The yellow one screws into the center, like that. And then if you wanted to store the manifold gauge set, the quick couplers simply couple to the side of the manifold gauge set. Next, what you want to do is verify that your manifold gauge valves are both in the closed position. Then come to your low pressure side and open the quick coupler, twist it all the way down. Same concept, don't over tighten. Then go to your high side, twist it all the way down. This opens the Schrader valves inside the ports, allowing it to flow through the hoses into the manifold gauge set. Now you'll notice my low pressure side has gone up a little bit. This is due to air in the system. As long as there is no Freon in the system and the system is not charged, you simply open the low pressure side to let the air out of the system. Next, what you're going to need to do is hook up your vacuum pump. The vacuum pump recovers any residue or any moisture that is within the AC system, because the Freon and the moisture, they don't talk to each other very well. So connect your yellow hose to your R134A port of the vacuum pump. This is a pump designed for both R12 and R134. the 134 port is larger in diameter than the R12 port. Make sure the R12 port is still screwed in firmly, as the vacuum won't make a seal. Then what you need to do is come back over to your manifold gauge set after you've hooked up your vacuum pump. Open both your low pressure and high pressure side valves and turn on the pump. After your vacuum pump is hooked up, you need to let it run for approximately 30 minutes. This will pull any moisture out of the system, and it will also create a vacuum on the system, so that when you're going to charge the system, the Freon is then pulled into the system and not letting any air into the system. After 30 minutes has passed, you're going to do two things. First, you're going to shut off your manifold gauge valves. Close them both, the high and the low side. Do this before you turn off your vacuum pump. After the high and low side valves have been closed, shut off your vacuum pump. After you have shut off your vacuum pump and closed both your valves, another waiting period. Watch your gauges. Right now they're at negative. This one's at negative 30 pounds. This one is at negative something pounds. Watch your gauges. They should stay below zero. Watch them for about 15 minutes. If they move up with both your valves closed and your vacuum pump off, there's a leak in the system somewhere. You need to find the leak. This system has no leaks, which I already know this, so we're just going to jump straight into the charge process. To charge your system, you're going to need one of these quick valves that goes on top of your R134A can. Screw the can into the valve, and then take your yellow feed hose and screw it to the port on the other side of the valve. After you've done that, you're going to run this screw all the way down. When the screw goes all the way down, it pierces the seal on the top of the 134A can, but it also closes the can so that the fluid cannot escape. So before charging the system, it's always wise to add some UV dye in with the Freon. What this does is it creates a color if the system has a leak somewhere, so that you can see where the system is leaking from to do a future repair. What I usually do is you have to use a 1/4 ounce of it. I usually just dump it into the top of the fill hose. Once inside the vehicle, go to the heater control, turn the AC to max AC. It'll say max, or it'll have a button for heater recirculation, have a little picture of a car with an arrow going in a U-turn on it. That's max AC. So on this vehicle, it automatically puts max AC if you turn the selector knob all the way to max. And then on the vehicles that don't, push the AC button and then the button that says recirc, and then turn your heater fans all the way to high. If you have rear air, make sure that one's on high too. After that, start the vehicle. Now with the vehicle running, you're ready to charge. Open your coupler on the top of the Freon can all the way. And then bring it back like a 1/4 of a turn. The 1/4 of a turn simply just saves the O-rings inside the coupler so that they don't break and cause a leak on this piece later on down the line. So to charge, the can will need to be upside down. Give the can a little bit of a shake. Now when you're charging, you're only using your low side. Your low pressure side is for charging, your high pressure side is for evacuation. There's a little sight glass on every manifold gauge that tells you whether or not the liquid is flowing. Now our system has a vacuum in it already, so it should immediately start to pull the Freon from the can into the AC system. Shortly after that, you'll hear the AC pump turn on and start to cycle. So now we're going to open our low pressure valve on our manifold. Now our pressure went up, we're just waiting for our AC pump to turn on. And you can see the liquid flowing in the sight glass. Our pump just turned on. And shake your Freon can so that you know when it's empty, and you can also tell when it's empty by the sight glass. There won't be any more fluid flowing. Okay, this can is empty. So now once this can is empty, we're going to close our low side. And back down to our 134A can. Just unscrew the can. A little bit of air will escape from the can. That can is now empty. Every car has an AC sticker that shows how much Freon the system will take. This is a dual unit that has rear air control, so it takes 1.1 kg. Most cans say ounces on there, so Google a conversion chart and figure out what the conversion shall be. This one is a 12-ounce can. 1 kg is 35 ounces, so it will take approximately 3 1/4 can of Freon to fill this system, or until it's at proper pressure. So we're going to fill our second can, screw the can on, puncture the seal, and bring your valve back open. And open your low pressure valve again. And do this until the system is full, or until the pressures are proper. And I'll show you a pressure, low and high pressure chart here in a second.